All right, so let's add in a torus. So in a couple tutorials ago, I mentioned that a ring is basically a torus. So let's take a look at the torus, and there is a slight difference depending on what you're looking to do. So let's add in a position here. We'll make it 0, 0, -3. Okay, and the difference between the ring and the torus here is the torus is literally 3D, whereas a ring is 2D, and that's basically the difference there. So let's take a look at that here. So let's add in a color. So we'll say a color. So when we add in our colors, again, we want to use our RGB values. So we can add in, let's say 4, 4 for red, 3, 3 for green, and 2, 2 for blue. Okay, and of course, you always have to add in the number sign there. So it gives us, in this case, a nice brown, maybe chocolate donut. Let's add in a rotation here. And we'll make that equal to, let's see, -90, 0, and 0. And then there you go. You have a nice looking little donut here. But, we can maybe make it 80, 80, and then 80. All right, so there we go. That looks good here. Let's also take a look at the wireframe, because this is always interesting and good to know. So you can see that the torus there is good. Okay, so you can see that that's what it looks like. If you want, you can change these segments here. So you can change the segments radial, and then the default here is 36, so you can make it 77, or you can make it whatever you want, right? So 100. You can see that makes it quite a bit more. So let's just add in 50 there. And then we can also add in the segments, and we'll say that this is tubular. Throw back to the early 90s here. So tubular is going to be 32. You can make it 64, and you can see that you get basically more geometry there. So it's up to you whether you want to do that. The other thing that you can add in is we can change the arc. Okay, so the arc is the default is 360, but let's say you want to do 40. Okay, you can see that the arc is different. Let's do 270, right? And you can also do, if you do, let's say 370, right? It doesn't necessarily make sense. But if you do 180, you'll see that you get half a donut. All right. So that's basically what the arc does. Next up, let's take a quick look at the radius, which will give it the size. The radius here, the default is 1. So if you make it 0.2 or 2, you can see that basically makes it bigger. Let's change that to 0.5. There we go. And you'll also notice that the tubing, as you look at it, is a little bit different. All right, last up here, so essentially, if you're changing the radius, you have to change the, if you change the tubular radius here, you might have to, change that up if you're looking for something that's the same here. All right. If you add in the height, the normal height is 256. So if you do, let's say 300, you can go ahead and change the height there if you wish. All right. See you in the next video.